He went to surprise her at work, that he was the one who got shocked. The city hummed with life. Yellow minibuses honked insistently as they weaved through a tangle of cars, motorcycles darting between them like fish in a stream. Street vendors called out, offering roasted corn and sizzling meat skewers, their voices rising over the din. Mark adjusted the strap of his leather bag, trying to calm the flutter in his chest. Today he would surprise Lisa at her boutique. He imagined her smile lighting up the room, her laughter spilling over like a sweet melody. Mark was tall, broad-shouldered, and carried himself with a quiet confidence that came from years of working in finance. His skin was the color of rich cocoa, and his neatly trimmed beard framed a strong jaw. Though not from wealth, his family's respect in their community had always given him an unspoken dignity. He often wore crisp shirts and dark slacks, projecting success even on ordinary days. Lisa's boutique was tucked between a fabric store and a small bakery. The moment he stepped inside, Mark felt a surge of anticipation. He knew her world well, her love for vibrant Ankara fabrics, her carefully arranged displays, the faint scent of sandalwood and freshly brewed coffee lingering in the air. He thought of her long, graceful hands, the way she would run them over soft textiles as if coaxing out their story. But his heart froze before he could even reach the counter. There she was, not alone. Her laughter, light and carefree, rang out as she held hands with a man whose charm seemed effortless. He was taller than Mark, slimmer, with an easy smile that made Lisa lean into him naturally. Mark's stomach twisted. Anger, heartbreak, disbelief collided inside him in a wave he hadn't anticipated. He stumbled backward, his presence suddenly loud against the quiet intimacy he had imagined. Lisa's eyes widened when she noticed him. The laughter vanished, replaced by an almost tangible tension. "Mark," she said, her voice uncertain, faltering. I didn't know you had company," he managed, though the words sounded hollow even to him. The man turned, noticing the frozen figure at the door. His smile tightened. "I'm Tay," he said politely, though the underlying caution was clear. Lisa's hand slipped from Tay's, hovering between them, awkward and uncertain. Mark's pulse thundered in his ears. He had planned to surprise her with flowers, a little note tucked under a small gift. Instead, he stood exposed, his carefully rehearsed gesture of love crumbling before his eyes. He left without another word, the bustling streets outside seeming louder than before. Traffic snarled around him, but he hardly noticed. Each honking horn, each shout from a vendor cut deeper. By the time he reached the corner where a woman sold fried plantain, Mark felt the weight of a lesson he hadn't wanted to learn. Some truths, he realized, were unavoidable. At home, he sat on the edge of his bed in his small apartment overlooking the busy street. His walls were painted warm ochre, shelves lined with books he rarely had time to read, a few framed photographs of family gatherings that reminded him of roots and responsibility. He rubbed his hands over his face, breathing through the sting of betrayal. He could feel the day pressing against him like the heavy sun outside. Lisa, for her part, returned to the boutique with Tay, her smile gone, replaced by contemplation. She had always been fiercely independent, her life a patchwork of effort, dreams, and the pride she carried in every folded fabric. She had never imagined Mark would walk in that day, unannounced, heart brimming with expectation. Her mind raced, trying to reconcile the warmth she felt for him and the new connection she had stumbled upon. Mark's friend, Kofi, noticed his distant stare the next evening at a roadside cafe. "You look like someone just told you the market's on fire," Kofi teased lightly, handing him a glass of palm wine. Mark didn't laugh. He pushed the glass away. "It's complicated," he muttered. Kofi leaned back, studying him. "Complicated always feels like heartbreak in disguise." Did she be with someone else? Mark finished for him, bitter and quiet. The next few days were a blur of routine and reflection. Mark avoided the boutique, though his mind returned there endlessly. He wandered through the city, letting the warm, humid air fill his lungs, watching children chase each other through alleys, listening to street musicians play drums that vibrated through his chest. Each sensory detail, so familiar and alive, reminded him that life moved on, even when hearts refused to. Meanwhile, Lisa faced her own reckoning. Her boutique, always bustling with the smell of new fabrics and the chatter of loyal customers, seemed heavier with silence. She found herself questioning her choices, balancing the thrill of new affection with the memory of Mark's earnest presence. Her mother's words echoed in her mind. Respect and honesty are worth more than fleeting happiness. Mark's healing started subtly. He returned to the gym, pushed through long runs along the dusty roads lined with cassava farms, palms swaying in the gentle wind. Sweat soaked his shirt, but it cleansed more than his body. It washed away the sting of what had happened, leaving clarity in its wake. He realized that love cannot be forced, cannot be bought with surprises or gestures, no matter how sincere. A week later, he ran into Lisa at a local market. The aroma of roasted peanuts and spicy skewers filled the air. She paused, fingers brushing a bolt of vibrant cloth. Their eyes met, a quiet acknowledgement passing between them. There was no anger now, only a fragile understanding. He nodded to her, a small smile playing at the corner of his lips. She returned it, tentative but genuine. As he walked away, Mark felt lighter, the bustling city around him alive and vivid. The lesson had been painful, yet necessary. Some love is meant to stay in memory, shaping the person you are without binding you to someone else. True love cannot thrive where trust and honesty are absent. Sometimes, letting go teaches us more about ourselves and the meaning of love than holding on ever could. If you enjoyed the story, leave a comment, like and share.